The ongoing battle between FC Barcelona and the Spanish national team over the handling of Lamine Yamal's fitness has taken yet another turn, with Barcelona having the teenage star undergoing a procedure to treat his ongoing groin issue without informing the Spanish Federation. The procedure will force Lamine Yamal to miss Spain's upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Georgia and Turkey, a development that led the Spanish Football Federation to issue a statement expressing its unhappiness with the lack of communication over the procedure. The statement read, quote, "The RFEF Medical Services wish to express their surprise and dismay upon learning at 1:47 p.m. on Monday, November 10th, the day the official training camp with the national team began, that player Lamine Yamal had undergone an invasive radiofrequency procedure to treat his pubic discomfort that same morning. This procedure was performed without prior notification to the national team's medical staff, who only became aware of the details through a report received at 10:40 p.m. last night, which indicated a medical recommendation of rest for 7 to 10 days. So for more on this entire story, we bring in Phil Kitromilides, our CBS Sports European correspondent. Phil, thanks so much for taking the time to join us this morning. What's going on here? What more can you tell us?
Oh, what a good question, Ali. This has been going on for a while, and I was on the network maybe last month when we were talking about Lamine Yamal dropping out of the Spain squad, and I used the words, "We are very close to being an all-out war between Barcelona and the Spanish Football Federation." And then I was thinking maybe I was being too strong, maybe I was being too dramatic. Now I think we're at the level where it is an all-out war, and a lot of the papers today have got that on their websites, the words "all-out war" between Barcelona and the Spanish Football Federation. Let's go all the way back to September, shall we, where this all started. Lamine Yamal went away with the Spain national team. He played 2 games, played the majority of those 2 games, and he was reportedly had to receive pain-killing injections in between the 2 matches to play. He came back. Hansi Flick was absolutely furious, came out and publicly said the Spanish Football Federation is not looking after its players, which is a huge thing to say for a manager. Then he was supposed to be in the national team squad for October, but he couldn't because he was injured, pulls out. He then starts 6 consecutive games for Barcelona, started the last 6 games for Barcelona, obviously scored in the last 3, obviously gets called up to the latest national team squad. But then Barcelona do this procedure, and I just want to give you a little timeline. Like you can see the injury timeline on your screen here. I'll give you a timeline from yesterday. This took place in the morning of yesterday. Lamine Yamal comes down to Madrid, having had this invasive treatment. He comes to Madrid to be at the Spain camp with all his other teammates. Nobody's informed the Spanish Football Federation officially yet. He is there. And then they get this report from Barcelona, very sort of cold from Barcelona. Here's the medical report. They say he can't play for 7 to 10 days. That's it. And the Spanish Football Federation, well, what's going on? Why didn't you mention this before? You know, he's come down here. He's with us. So it's an intrinsic lack of communication. I think that is the problem, because the Spain national team are well within their rights to call up Lamine Yamal. He started the last 6 games. He's starting to play well now. And Barcelona are well within their rights to look after their player and do this invasive treatment to try and help him with this groin problem. But to not communicate it, that's where the problem is. And it is a big problem because it's the star of the team playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. And this lack of communication means that we're here talking about this instead of footballing matters.
Phil, this is the new drama in world football, right? We see clubs, national teams going at each other's throat. And Luis de la Fuente has one of the most difficult jobs in terms of keeping clubs happy, players happy with their health. I'm curious about this because you alluded to the lack of warning being the biggest issue that the Spanish Federation have. What's behind Barcelona's delay in giving that information to De La Fuente and the Federation? Because the tension between him and Hansi Flick is getting to be almost at volcanic levels right now.
Yeah, De La Fuente has spoken this morning. We've had some reaction from him, and his basic assessment of it is that this is not normal. I've never experienced anything like this before. This is not a normal situation for it to happen. There has been a lack of communication between the 2 managers. They have literally not spoken because De La Fuente doesn't speak very good English and Hansi Flick doesn't speak very good Spanish. They've both alluded to the fact that they can't really communicate very well. There have been, I'm not thinking this right, guys, but I'm going to put this out there. There have been some suggestions from the Madrid-based press this morning this is a little bit of revenge from Barcelona. They didn't like how the Spanish national setup were looking after Lamine Yamal, and so they decided to do this. And no, we're not going to tell them. We'll tell them right at the last minute. We don't have to tell them. He's our player, and if he needs to do this, we'll do it without informing them. So hey, that's some bad-minded people maybe might be thinking that, but there might be a small kernel of truth to it. Who knows?
Phil, I, from the outside looking in, I don't think that's far-fetched at all. I think this is straightforward tit for tat. They didn't like the way their player was treated, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they have probably actually followed the FIFA protocol. Their player has reported for duty. He's reported the injury he's carrying, and they will think they've done nothing wrong. Now, if you looked at it technically, that's probably correct. But in terms of relationships, then it's dreadful. It's poor, it's churlish behaviour, and it's unnecessary behaviour. It's like they've spat the dummy after their player, in their eyes, their player was... Again, there's two sides to it. He's been carrying this injury for some time now as well. So for him to play those games last time, it does, again, from the outside, smack of a lack of concern for the player's welfare. But equally, you know, it's a daft argument, this. There should have been a sensible compromise because they're nursing him through games. Unfortunately for him, he's playing well and scoring goals. So to the national team, doesn't look like he's got a problem. But he has got a problem, and it has to be cured, has to be treated at some point. This is just two stubborn groups of people, and what was a minor argument has gone from a minor argument to a squall to a storm.
That word you said, unnecessary, Geoff. You know, it didn't need to be like this. They didn't need to proceed like this and cause this storm, but they have. And so this is going to be an ongoing issue now between now and the World Cup. And this is an awkward injury, this groin problem. It's a chronic groin problem that he has, which means it needs to be managed. There are very specific things and exercises that he needs to do consistently, repetitively, very boring exercises to get over this. But it does mean that he can be playing well, but still require this kind of treatment. So, yeah, it's not an easy situation for the player. This is the number one thing, by the way. You know, we've got a player who has this problem, and his welfare should be the number one concern of everyone. But the behaviour has been left a little bit to be questioned, I think.
Phil, really quick from me. We're talking about here how Barcelona are managing him through. His last 4 games, he's played full game against Madrid, came off at the 88 minutes the game after, full game the game after that, and this weekend came off at 91 minutes. So to me, what are they, 4-2 what were they this weekend? Yeah, 4-2 what? And they brought him off at 91 minutes. To me, that's not managing somebody. That is,
I'll give you another one, Troy. They beat Olympiacos 6-1 in the Champions League, and he played 75 minutes of that game.
Yeah, and that's the point.
I agree.
For me, I'm now looking at it in 2 parts. One, we're going to talk about in a minute. I had the same issue, so I've had that surgery. So I know that it is a very quick turnaround. He will be back in 7 to 10 days. It's painful for the next 24 hours, but after that, it is just about getting moving. But I just think, is there any compensation that Spain could now start to do? Could they make a legal case where they say, hold on, you're saying he's got an issue, but we can show you evidence that he's been playing and you guys have been pushing him through these games and not managing his minutes?
I think Barcelona, as Geoff alluded to, have been relatively clever in this and done everything by the book. So they followed the protocol, and probably there isn't any cause for action from that area. But yeah, you're right, because listen, he is the Barcelona player. They pay his wages, and very huge wages, by the way. They're paying him a lot of money. He is their player. They need him as well. He is their key player. So Hansi Flick will say, well, yeah, I will play him as many minutes as I think I need to. And of course, I'm looking after him because I'm overseeing the training sessions. I know exactly what kind of treatment he's getting. We are looking after him here. So it's a tricky one. In Spain, if you are called up to the national team, you legally have to go. You legally have to go. It's a requirement unless you're injured. So he clearly had this operation and couldn't fulfill that legal requirement to go. But yeah, what a mess! What an unnecessary mess we're here talking about.
Yeah, but I like the way Troy poured petrol on the fire, saying, "Can they sue him as well?"
No, but it would be something I would be saying if I was working for Spain. I'd be saying, well, hold on a second. In the last 6 games, he's played more or less the full time all the way through. as Phil alluded to, in a 6-1 win, you kept him on for like 75, 80 minutes.
You've had that injury. Can you play comfortably with it?
No, not comfortably. It's painful.
But you can get
through it, and obviously I would allude to the fact that they were probably going to like manage him in the week, so maybe instead of doing 5 days, he's doing 3. He's doing more work in the pool, but it is very, very painful. Yeah. It's a groin hernia, isn't it? And anyone who's had a hernia, the second you touch that, it's like being kicked in the nuts.
Oh, yes. Very good. Well, Phil, thanks so much for all the great insight and context. This is a story I'm sure we'll... on that note.
Phil, you clearly haven't had it yet.
Yeah, Phil,
call me after.
On that from Troy? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to put you in that spot. Great stuff. We will be following the story, no doubt. But Troy, Phil, we'll let you go. And Troy, I want to talk a little bit more. At what point, like if you're Lamine Yamal in this situation, what would you do? Like, take us a little bit more inside the mind of where he's probably at right now with his pain and discomfort, and just an awkward situation for the player, no doubt, with your national team and your club team. Of course,
that bit is obviously
pressure from both sides.
Pressure, yeah. No matter what, he can't do right for doing wrong. And again, he'll want to look after his home base, which is Barcelona, obviously. But he's a superstar. And there'll be a lot of Spanish fans and Spanish people across the world that'll be going, hold on a second, it's a privilege to play for Spain, and you seem to be picking Barcelona. So it will be that element. But for just going to the injury, I actually had it in this international break as well. So I got through 2.5 games of feeling the pain because it happened in a game. I had someone jump on my back and I felt a little pop, and I was like, oh, that doesn't feel right, but we carry on. And when we got back in, I could see 2 lumps either side. We got that fixed. And the doctor that I had was very, very quick. It was literally like, I had surgery on the Friday. I was back training on the Sunday, and then, played 8 days later. So it is very, very quick. It's painful, but it's something you can certainly get through.
Yeah, I see this as a point of concern for Lamine Yamal. And
yes.
I've been on the other end of it, where I've had that surgery and it didn't go well.
Yeah.
So I had to have another one, right? And it became
You had the mesh though, right?
I had the mesh,
yeah.
Right? So he's going to have...
He had the new surgery.
A different one.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry to interrupt you. I think we had the new surgery. So just so people have the context, when you have a hernia, they normally fold your intestine and put a mesh in, which Michael had. And then they realised that the mesh was causing problems. So the new one, which I've had, and I assume Lamine Yamal will have, is just wrapping the intestine around itself, stitching it back up and kind of putting it back in. There's no real problem because your body tapped into its body. Sorry.
I should have gone to your doctor.
One thing, Ali, one thing I would say is, I don't know, Troy alluded to it, pressure from both sides here. I don't know who his advisors are or whether or not they weighed in heavily on this, because this is not a good look for him, whatever he does. I would hope that his advisors went to the club and said, come on, you can't do that. That's ridiculous. You're going to kill him in front of the Spanish fans. And there's plenty of Madrid supporting Spanish fans. Yeah. So I would like to think that his advisors weighed in heavily. But if a young man is just getting bounced between the two, that's not good for... It's poor for all 3 parties.
Well, it's just crazy. We are seeing this more and more with national teams and clubs. We've seen it with Pochettino and AC Milan, with Christian Pulisic. We saw it with PSG.
It's happened
and the French football.
Forever and a day.
It's just...
Clubs care more about themselves, and international teams care about themselves. Yeah. It's that. Yeah.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.